And a good evening, baseball fans. We welcome you one more time. The 2025 Perfect Game Super Regional NIT here in Vegas. We're just outside the city area of downtown Las Vegas. It's under the lights, it's cold, it's windy, it's tonight here under the lights. Should be a good one tonight. Again, we welcome you back. The Perfect Game, Las Vegas Regional Super NIT here. Coach and skipper of the ZT Prospects national team going up against the Rockstars team. And Bo will take care of things with Perfect Game. And Rich and partner working behind the plate. We'll be ready to get things started. Well, under the lights tonight, we welcome you again as Henry Kunsteller for the ZT Prospects 14U national team will take the bump, the right-handed hurler. He'll take care of business to start things off for the club tonight. Behind the plate, Jimmy Stout. Stout will catch for the club. He'll manage things behind the plate. Over on the first base side, Daniel D. Bedar. Bedar will take care of business over there. And over on the second base position tonight will be Blake Barbarena. He'll take care of business there. Over in the 5 spot, Jordan Leon. And over in the 6 spot at shortstop, Brandon B-Money Manavong. He'll take care of things there. Over on the left field side, Cameron Walters in left. In center field, Brody Taylor. And Mason Moeller will round things out over on the right side. That's the defensive set for your ZT Prospects national team. Rich will be behind the plate. Paul will be on the infield tonight. And as I mentioned earlier, Bo takes care of business for Perfect Game, keeping things official and moving forward. As we get a couple more warm-up tosses in the Rockstars club, we'll take bat at first as the ZT Prospects are the away team. Chris Aller with the call under the lights. Viva Las Vegas. It's Super Regional NIT time. We'll be right back. And the infield will get set up as our umpire Rich meeting Julian Gonzalez, who will be the leadoff hitter for the club. Gonzalez plays first base for the team. We are ready to go. Game number 2 under the lights. Kunsteller right side. Barbarena gathers. Good play to Bedar. 4-3 put out. 1 pitch, 1 out for Henry Kunsteller and the Prospects. Stepping in the 2-hitter, Joaquin Herrero, shortstop, and hit on the helmet there as that gets away from Kunsteller and hit by pitch. So runner at first, the 3-hitter Hun steps in. From the stretch, Kunsteller will work. Pitch on the way, fastball, swing and a miss. The count is 0-1. Throw back over the infield umpire, Paul, with the infield call. Runner gets back in time. Bedard holds him on, pitch on the way. Ball swung on, fouled off to the right side and out of play. The count is 0-2. Kunsteller, 82-mile-an-hour pitch. And a strike three called there. So Kunsteller dials up a strikeout, and that'll bring up the four-hitter, De Leon. 2 outs for Henry and the Prospects. Runner at first, Bedard holds him on. Ball swung on, fouled off to the right side and out of play. And a strike there, and Kunsteller working ahead here. Says our umpire Rich, the 0-2 pitch. Kunsteller from the stretch. Strike three call, Kunsteller. Quick work here with 2 Ks on the books. The Prospects will get on the offensive side. We'll be right back. And as we get ready to roll here in the bottom of the first frame on the hill, Mendez will be the pitcher of record to start things off for the Rockstars. Soon will be behind the plate. Over in first base will be Gonzalez. Over in the second base position, Hunt. Over in the third base spot, in a 5 position, De Leon. 6th spot will be Hermo. At shortstop in the 7th spot, Kuna. In the 8th spot will be Tomlin, and 9th spot will be Bernard. Rounding things out, that's your defensive set for the Rockstars. We're ready to roll here in the bottom of the first frame. And we will get things underway. Brody Taylor will lead things off here for the Prospects in game number 2 as they fire it down to second base. Suno sends it down, and we will be ready to roll here. Coach Sam down on the first base side. Over on the third base side is Coach Trey, and Brody Taylor will step in here. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup as Rich, our head umpire, he gears up. He'll put it in play. We're ready to go. And a ball out. The count is 1-0. Taylor lays off there. Under the lights, lots of wind today. It's been kind of a wild day. Temperatures were really good earlier today, and now it's cooled off. Taylor right side pulls it foul. The count goes to 1-1. Manaball just missing out. The count goes to 2-1. Taylor right side could stay fair and goes foul. So good rip and a solid barrel for Brody Taylor, but pulls it foul to the right side. And Mendez will even up the count here at 2-2. Taylor right side, shallow, second baseman ranging up, rolls off and makes the grab, pulls it in. So a high fly out to the second base side. And one out on the books will bring up Brandon Manavong. Manavong steps in facing Mendez for the first time. The bottom of the first frame, no score. Prospects your home team tonight. Manavong, third base side, pulls foul. Coach Trey showing his skill set, grabbing it with the right hand. Former ball player there, taking care of business. The count's 0-1. Again, cold temperatures here under the lights tonight with lots of wind activity. Pitch on the way. And a ball up and out. The count goes even to 1-1. Well, the 1-1 count as Manavong steps back in. Pitch on the way. B looks at a strike up the middle, lays off there. A good pitch for Mendez. And the count goes to 1-2. So the 1-2 pitch. And Manavong just gets the barrel on it as he was checking up. The pitch had some movement inside and kind of got him in on the hands and was able to get the barrel on it and fouls it off. Well, Mendez here to ball and 2 strikes to Manavong, the 2-hitter. And a ball out. The count will go even to 2-2. Manavong, gather there, a little bobble, could be trouble in time. No, Manavong into the dugout, and Manavong rounds, and he'll go hard into second base with a big gust of wind coming across the field at the same time. And Manavong ends up at second base. Jordan Leon will step in with 1 out. And Leon looks at a strike. The count is 0-1. Jordan, a fine athlete, top-rated players in the country in his class. Trying to get a knock here. Oh, big hit. There's lots of wind there, but that ball's deep to center field. And with that wind holding up, Leon with a long fly out to center, but that'll move up Manavong 90 feet to third base. But a well-hit ball for Jordan Leon. So stepping in is Blake Barbarena. Blake ready to go. Mendez from the stretch, 2 outs. Pitch on the way. Barbarena, chopper, first base side. They're going to have to underhand toss. And the play is made at first base. That'll do it. Barbarena hard down the line. And we've got some wind that's howling here And that'll turn the side over. They leave one on. We'll head to the second. Stay with us. We'll be right back. So Jimmy fires it down to second base. And we are ready to go here in the top of the second frame. No score. The Rockstars. Suno will start things off here for the club. They go 5, 6, 7. As Kunstler was very efficient in the first. And delivers a ball that counts 1-0. Henry having a chance to swing it and get on a little more of the offensive side of things here, and the ball is low. The count's 2-0. And a ball low. 3-0 count. Henry running the inner third of the plate. Just a little low there, needs to make the adjustment. And he comes up and the strike called there. And the count is 3-1. Wind continuing to howl here. And as you can probably hear in the mic here tonight. And a strike called. And Suno was on his move to first base, thought he was on board, and he'll come back at the full count at 3-2. The 3-2 pitch. Low, ball 4. So Henry loses him. And on board is Suno, and stepping in will be the 6 hitter, Rudolph. Comes in as the extra hitter here tonight, hitting in the 6 hole. And he's got Suno over at first. Badar will hold him on as Kunstler will work from the stretch. Henry takes a look over on the first base side. Pitch on the way. Center field, one out. They're going to tie it up. Barberena. And Badar in and out of the glove there. And Barberena, they had him. But they get the out. And the runner stays put at first in Suno. The 7 hitter steps in, Kenna. Dillon takes a look at a strike there. And the count is 0-1. So Kunstler will work ahead here. Ball out, count goes even to 1-1. Bedard holding Suno on at first. Pitch on the way. And a strike there. Henry locates the outer third. Good looking pitch for Kuhnsteller, and the count goes to 1-2. So a 2-2 count to Dillon. Chopper out of the box. Jimmy's going to have to make a quick move. Is in time. So the Prospects pulling off a couple of defensive plays there. They leave one on. They get him tagged out, though, on a good pick for Jimmy Stout. They clear the bags. They put up the third out. Kuhnsteller and company, they'll get on the offensive side. Well, back to live action, ready to go. Jimmy Stout will start things off. Jimmy takes a cut there at the plate, and the count is 0-1. And Jimmy looks at a strike. I think he was a little frustrated there. Looked like he wanted to pull the trigger. And the count goes to 0-2. Well, Mendez ahead here on him. And a ball gets away. The count is 1-2. So the 1-2 count. The catcher tonight, Jimmy Stout, doing a fine job showing his defensive skills on the last half. As he's going to look at a 1-2 pitch. And Stout does not like that. Jimmy, a strong kid. He'll take one off the backside in a hard 90 and find himself on board, hit by pitch. So Bedard will step in. Danielle with Jimmy over on the first base side. They're going to run for Stout. They're going to bring in Barberena to run for Stout, who was hit by pitch. Hit by pitch. So Barberena will run for Stout over on the first base side. Bedard will step in. D ready to go. Mendez will work from the stretch here. And Barberena with good wheels, he can get down quickly. Ball is low. Bedard looks at a ball. The count is 1-0. No score here. We're in the bottom of the second frame if you're just joining us, game number 2. And the winds have just been crazy out here this afternoon all day and into the evening hours. We're pushing towards straight up 8 o'clock. Pitch on the way. Bedard, right side. Good hit. So Bedard gets a solid knock, and Barberena will shut it down at second. And Bedard's on board with a single. Cameron Walters will step in. Walters did some pitching the last game and did a nice job for the club. Cameron hasn't thrown for quite some time, getting back at pitching again, and normally he's been catching. Versatile player. Will step in the box here with runners at first and second and no score. And at the plate, he'll call the strike. Rich says no. He presented, the ball was out, and count is 0-1. Walters looking to get something going here with runners in scoring position. Prospects trying to get something going. Mendez and company and the Rockstars trying to change that up. Ball third base side, foul. So the third baseman gathers quickly and crosses the line, and we'll pull it in foul. And the count's 0-2 to Cameron Walters. Right side could stay up and foul. So Cameron going opposite. And with the wind blowing the way it is, it's inevitable that the ball's going to get pushed around quite a bit as it did there, and Walters will reload. So Walters holds it an 0-2 count. Mendez ahead here with runners at first and second and no outs. We're in the bottom of the second frame, no score. Right side could drop in, and that ball goes to the fence as it tailed away from the right fielder. And here comes hard round third is Barberena, and Bedard's going to shut it down at third. And in with a double is Cameron Walters. So Walters takes a stroke, and he'll pick up the first run here on the double and the RBI. And the prospects get on the board, and Bedard will end up at third. So Coach Trey collecting some of the hardware, protective gear from the batters, and Cameron Walters, and Mason Muller will step in. And Muller looks at a ball on the outside part of the plate. The count is 1-0. And a strike called on the outer third of the plate. The count goes even at 1-1. A 1-1 pitch for Mendez. And a ball low. The count goes to 2-1. This time of year out here in the desert, you're going to get all these kind of wicked winds that come and go, and well, today's just been really consistent even into the evening hours. That ball gets away from Mendez on the outside part of the plate. The count goes to 3-1. So Moeller steps back in with a 3-1 count. From the stretch, 3-1. Ball's upstairs, ball 4. So Moeller will get down with a freebie and find himself 90 feet down to first base. And that'll bring in Henry Kunsteller. Henry in command of the game so far on the hill for the Prospects. He's got Moeller at first. Walters at second with a double and an RBI, and Bedard at third. Ball outside. The count goes to 1-0. Mendez goes low and out. It's a 2-0 count to the batter, Kunsteller. And that ball gets away, caroms off of the brick wall and right into the glove of the catcher, Tsuno. And the count is 3-0, so Mendez in a little bit of trouble here with a 3-0 count sitting on Henry Kunsteller. And Henry, I'm sure, taking all the way, forcing a must-thrown strike here and potential walking a run in. And that it is. It's up and out, ball 4. So Mendez will walk in Bedard, and Bedard comes home. And on board with a walk in the second run over is Moeller down to first, and a visit out to the bump to talk to Mendez, and we'll be right back. The Prospects, the bottom of the second frame, 2-0. Well, back to live action. We're ready to go here, and Brody Taylor will step in with the bases juiced, an opportunity with 2 over already and no outs. Taylor, a hard hit ball. That ball to the right side of the field. In right center, here comes 1, here comes 2, and a broken play. A long throw in, and Taylor's going to shut it down. He'll slam the brakes on it second, and Walters and Moeller will come over. And Brody Taylor is going to get scored with a double and a 2-run RBI. So the Prospects pick up runs 2, 3, and 4, and Manavong will step in. And Manavong looking at a strike there, so Mendez works ahead, and the count is 0-1. Manavong right side will stay fair. All the way to the fence line. Here comes 1. Kunsteller will score. Taylor will come in and into second with a double and a 2-run RBI is Brendan Manavong. So Manavong gets into the show and finds himself at second base with a double, and he'll clear the bags. So runs 5 and 6 will clear. And it's a 5-run inning thus far for the Prospects with no outs, and Jordan Leon will step in. Wind continues to gust through here, and it's been consistent all day and into the evening hours here. We're pushing just a bit past the 8 p.m. hour this Thursday night under the lights in Vegas. And a ball out. Leon not chasing there, and the count is 1-0. You're enjoying the 2025 Las Vegas Super Regional NIT as we close in here upon Easter Sunday, just around the corner. Wishing everybody and all the families a most enjoyable time as Mendez just runs it out a bit, and the count's 2-0 to Leon. And on the infield umpire, just having a quick word with him there, just chatting it up. Paul there, just talking to him about something. Hopefully he's okay. Something's going on with his leg. He's been shaking off on his leg a little bit, and hopefully he's all right. And Mendez kind of maybe got his cleat stuck somewhere on his stride out. I didn't see it from where I'm at, but obviously the infield, Paul saw it, the infield umpire. The 2-0 pitch. And a strike called. And the count goes to 2-1. Right side, right fielder backing up. That ball's tailing away and fair to the fence line. That's a tough play for anybody. And here comes Manavong and going hard into third. There's no play there. They cut it off at second, but Manavong will come across. And Jordan Leon with a big fly ball. It's just so hard with this wind. The right fielder had a beat on it. And just with this wind pushing it probably 15, 20 feet away from him at least. And Leon gets on board with a triple and an RBI. And that's going to be a visit out to the bump. That might be it there. They're going to change some things up with the pitching, and it looks like the coach is pointing to his first baseman. So a pitching change coming up here for the Rockstars. That'll be it for Mendez. It's 7-0 Prospects, bottom of the second frame. We'll be right back. Well, back to live action with the pitching change there and a ball to start things off. The count's 1-0. You've got Jordan Leon at third. And a breaking ball in for the strike. Good movement there. And the count goes to 1-1. Well hit ball, right side will drop in to the gap, and the center field will gather, and on board with the single is Blake Barberena, and an RBI out of the deal. And so he's on board, and Jordan Leon will score from third. They put up their 8th run. 7 across here in the bottom of the second frame, and back to Jimmy Stout. Stout will step back in. Jimmy ready to go with Barberena over on the first base side. Lefty pitcher's got a direct line of sight over there on the first base, and the ball just low. And the count goes to 1-0. Jimmy right side. That ball's going to tail to the right. That's a tough play. And in and out. So an out on the outfield side. The right fielder was able to grab it. He didn't trap it. It looked like he may have, but he was clearly, glove was underneath the ball. That's a good play in these conditions. And the out's recorded. So 1 down, and Bedard will step back in. So D on board with the single to the right side, and he got an RBI out of the deal. Bedard always productive for his club with the RBIs, and a lefty-lefty matchup here as Rich puts it in play. Over on the right side, Barberena stuck at first base with 1 out, bottom of the second frame, and a little toss over to first, nothing relevant, as the pitcher of record, Julian Gonzalez, taking over on the hill. And Bedard locked in, ready to go. On the move is Barberena. Throw down to second base. Quite late, and Barberena in with a stolen bag. So Bedard lays off there. And D will step back in. So Barberena in scoring position here. As Mendez ready to deal, and Bedard will step out and D will reset. So he'll lock back in again with an opportunity. Shortstop playing inside tight on Barberena. And Barberena with good speed can move over. Pitch on the way. Ball is low, Bedard lays off. The count is 2-0. Gonzalez having to work for their outs here as he takes a look at Barberena at second. Pitch on the way. The ball is up. The count goes to 3-0. So Bedard disciplined in the box, just trying to find a pitch to get something to hit here. And Coach Trey down on the third base side will keep him in check and probably taking all the way, forcing a pitch. Runner goes. Ball 4. So on the ball 4 pitch on the outer third of the plate, Bedard gets down on a walk. Barberena will move over 90 feet to third, and the Prospects have runners at the corners. So an opportunity here for Cameron Walters. Walters was in with a double, and now he's got runners at the corners with 1 out. And a ball is up. The count goes to 1-0. Wind continues to howl from center field. And hit by pitch. Walters on the lower part of the foot area. And again, he'll find his way down to first base. So Cameron takes one off of the foot in the cleat area, and that'll bring up Mason Moeller. So the bases are juiced for Moeller, the PO, showing his stuff today. As Kunsteller and Moeller both getting opportunities to swing it, and they're doing a good job so far. Moeller locked in, ready to go. And fouled straight back. The count is 0-1. Heading towards the 8:30 p.m. hour. And time is called at the box. Moeller steps out. There's a lot of clay that's on the top part of the surface here. And lots of dust gets moving around with this high wind. Right side, fouled off. Correction, left side, that's out of play. So Moeller, with an 0-2 count on him, as Gonzalez trying to get an out. And Henry takes a cut to the right side, fouling out of play.
Early.
And a 1-1 count. And the count goes to 2-1. Ball is low, a 3-1 count. So Kunsteller being patient at the plate. At the bases loaded, and Gonzalez in a little bit of trouble here. Potentially walking one in. We'll see what happens here. The 3-1 pitch. Henry right side, shallow, and tailing away, and that ball will drop in. So Kunsteller gets on with a single and an RBI, and here comes Bedar as well. So Barberena and Bedar both come across, runs 9 and 10 on Kunsteller's single, so he gets a 2-shot RBI. So Kunsteller takes advantage of the wind here tonight and finds himself on board, and runners at the corners with 2 outs, and Brody Taylor steps in. Taylor right side in the gap, that's going to go to the fence. And here comes one in Cameron Walters. Taylor's going to shut it down at second, and they're going to bring Kunsteller in, and Henry will score. So Kunsteller gets a single and RBI and crosses the plate on Brody Taylor's double, and runs 10 and 11 come over for the Prospects. It's a 9-run inning, so correction, a 10-run inning so far for the Prospects. And Manavong will step in. One and one. And a ball inside as Gonzalez comes in. Correction, 2-1. And Gonzalez looking for an out with 2 down. Manavong looking for a hit. The 2-1 pitch. Manavong back up the middle. That could get through, and there's no play there. A little cross up, and the ball sits flat in the field, and there's no play there. So coming home is Brody Taylor. And Manavong on board with a single, and Taylor will score, and that's the 12th run over. So Jordan Leon will step back in and a visit out to the bump, and that might be some short work. They're going to check on the players, though, and first and foremost, I think the second baseman's okay and the shortstop. They had a collision there. And they'll take a moment just to make sure their guys are good, and Rich takes a look, says, okay, looks like we're good out there. Paul says, yeah, I think we're good. And we'll reset the table. Rich will put things back in for Jordan Leon. And Manavong in good speed over on the first base side. High fly ball. That ball is going to go out of play with the wind blowing 25 miles an hour up there. And if there was no wind, that ball had plenty of carry and very well could have disappeared out of the yard. But with the wind blowing as hard as it is up there, it's just pushing the ball all over the place. And the count is 0-1. So Gonzalez and swing and a miss there at the plate. A good pitch. The count's 0-2. Well, Manavong, 0-2 count, 2 outs. At first base, ball missing there. The count goes to 1-2. You can probably see a little bit of the dust moving around, and we get these big gusts picking it up off of the field. It's just wreaking havoc on high fly balls for the outfielders. And that ball will go out of play with the wind blowing it out of here. The 1-2 pitch, runner on the move, swing and a miss, strike 3, that'll do it. So Leon will strike out. They leave Manavong on the bags, but not before the damage is done. The Prospects, they bring over 11 here in the bottom of the second. We'll head to the top of the third. It's 12-0. We'll be right back. Well, back to live action, ready to go. Mason Moeller takes over for Kuhnsteller, and Mason lets that rip, and a ball at the plate. And Rich says, hey, man, he can't get hurt tonight. Says he's got a date later. We can't mess that up. So Moeller starts off hot, and the count's 2-0. So Mason ready to go here. Pitch on the way. Moeller, right side goes foul. Badar, no play there. That ball was foul. The count goes to 2-1. As the wind continues to howl here in Vegas, we're just outside the Vegas Strip area, about a half an hour, 20 minutes out, at the And a good pitch there, just upstairs missing, and the count goes to 3-1. So fastball. And Mason back up the middle. Oh, and what a play. Manavong, a one-hopper. And Brandon Manavong showing some athletic skills there as Manavong lays it out, slides in on his stomach, gets up, spins, and a two-hopper to Badar, a 6-3 putout. What a play for Manavong. So Manavong showing his stuff. And the ball's fouled off. The count is 0-1. One out, top of the third frame. 13 runs brought over. So an exceptional output from the production line of the ZT Prospects national team. So an 0-2 count. Moeller trying to clear this one. And that's a stinger there. Mason lets that rip. And a hard 90, a hit by pitch. So Moeller getting a little wild there. And one out. So AJ will step in at the bottom part of the lineup here with a runner on. And he's shaking that off, man. That was a stinger. And he's hobbling around down on the first base side. And that's really bothering him all of a sudden, so hopefully he's okay. That's Tomlin. And they're going to run for him, and he's hurting. Moeller let that go, and he's really struggling to get back into the dugout. We're hoping he's okay. They run for him. So AJ steps in, runner at first. Moeller from the stretch. Moeller locates there. Fastball in for the strike. Count is 0-1. That ball's out. The count goes to 1-1. Temperatures continue to drop here tonight as the wind filling the skies here. Ball swung on and fouled off to the right. Ball's upstairs, and Jimmy's got to reach up for that one. And he'll pull it in, no problem there. This concrete wall, the balls come off quickly if something gets past the catcher. Badar holding on the runner at first. The 2-2 pitch from Moeller. Swung on, fouled straight back. So Mason looking for an out pitch here with one down. Moeller comes inside, and that gets away from Jimmy. There's no play down to second. The runner moves up 90 feet, and Moeller with a full count. So it's a 3-2 count, and Moeller just trying to get an out pitch here. Right side, that ball could stay up. It does not with the wind blowing 20 miles an hour, and it pushes out into foul territory, no play. Now AJ comes back, take another swing at it at 3-2 with one out, top of the third. Moeller, strike three call, gets the outer third located. And AJ knew it, he was out of the box. And Moeller gets the strikeout. Oh, Julian Gonzalez having to do a little gymnastic stretch there. The count's 1-0. In tight, Moeller comes in hot there. Barberena shuffling around, he'll range back up. Good pitch on the outside, that's wide. Too far out, and the count is 2-0. So Moeller working hard to get his outs here. He's got 2 on the book so far. And he relocates there and gets the strike called. So adjustment made there for Moeller, and he'll get the out on the books. The count's 2-1 with 2 outs. And a ball's fouled straight back, and the count goes to 2-2. So Moeller looking for the out pitch with 2 down. We got 2s across the board. We're in Vegas. Playing 2s tonight. You got them stacked up right here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the top of the third. Moeller, strike 3. He does his work. Good stuff for Mason Moeller, and he gets the strikeout. Well, the wind continues to blow. The air is cold, but I will say a special shout out to Kim Walters. Mrs. Walters, I'd like to thank you. Number one, I mean, your husband was so kind to hand over your favorite blanket, and it's really keeping me warm. I didn't come prepared, and I'd like to personally reach out to you here live on the broadcast to say thank you, Kim Walters. This blanket is exceptional. It keeps you warm, and it's actually keeping me quite warm. So thank you, Kim. I appreciate it, and your husband was so kind to say that I could use it here tonight as the wind continues to blow and the temperature is freezing here tonight. Under the lights, the prospects, they get back on the offensive side. Bottom of the third frame, it's 13-0. We'll be right back. Well, back to live action, bottom of the third, 13-0. Blake Barberena will start things off for the prospects here. And Barberena and club, they go 4-5-6 with Jimmy Stout on deck. Prospects looking to try to get some runs here in the third. Blake takes a cut there, swing and a miss. And the count is 0-1. Gonzalez works ahead. And Barberena should have tried to wear that one, but he was just getting out of the way. And the count goes to 1-1. It's not always that easy. It's easier said than done when a pitcher's in the batter's in the box and either A, trying to get away from the ball, or maybe in some cases if it's out there. Oh, a hard hit ball. That ball's deep and tailing, and there's no play there to the fence line. That thing was way to the center fielder's right as he charged quickly off the barrel, but Barberena with a solid stroke there, and he's in with a double. And again, you could just see the wind carry the ball. The ball started really direct center right at the 388 mark, and the next thing you know, it's 20 yards away from him to the center fielder's right side. And Jimmy Stout will step in. Jimmy, right side, cuts it foul, straight back. And the count is 0-1. Jimmy right side could drop in. That's another tough ball to play. All the way to the corner, and here comes Barberena. Jimmy's going to find his way to second. He'll shut it down there. And like that, Jimmy Stout continues to take some good strokes and finds himself on board with a double and an RBI. They pick up their 14th run, and Daniel Bedar will come in. Coach Trey, they're going to shuffle the deck, and they're going to run for Jimmy. Jordan Leon will head over to second as Stout's catching for the club. And they'll run for him here as we're in the bottom of the third frame. It's a 14-0 affair, and Leon in scoring position with no outs, and Bedar steps in. Gonzalez takes a look, pitch on the way. Ball is low, the count goes to 1-0. D left side and in and out of the glove. And Barberena is going to have to get down. There's trouble there. Is he in? He's out. A correction, that was Leon. My apologies there, but Bedar smokes it.
Nice hit, D.
And a little trouble there for Leon. Maybe a mistake. The prospects need one run to shut this thing down. And Bedar smoked a ball to the left side and finds himself on board, but the runner's out and one down. Cameron Walters will have to move Bedar now with one out. So what looked like an opportunity for Leon, he went quick. He's got good speed, but just not enough to get there in time. And pass ball will put Bedar over to second as he shuttles down 90 feet. And the count is 1-0. So Bedar will hand over his protective gear to Coach Trey. And D will step back on second base and be ready to go. So Walters has him in scoring position here with one out. And the right side of the field would be his friend here in this case with Bedar at second. Pitch on the way. And that ball's deep. Center fielder's going to back up, could have a play, a high flyer in the wind. And a good grab there, so they pull it down. And Walters will fly out. So Mason Moeller, it's in his hands here with Bedar at second. And Walters takes a good stroke, but just deep into center field, and no option there for the runner to get on. Bedar at second, pitch on the way. And a strike called there on Moeller as he lays off. Looked like he wanted to pull the trigger. And the count is 0-1. And a ball is out. A good stop behind the dish. The count goes even to 1-1. Moeller looking to try to move Bedar around a bit. Gonzalez and company looking for an out with two down. Moeller, second baseman. And that gets through. Bedar comes home. And Bedar coming all the way. And the prospects, they will do it there. And the 15th run comes over. So the prospects, they run rule it in the bottom of the third. And Mason Moeller gets the knock. It gets through at second base. Bedar scores. And Moeller gets the RBI. Bedar comes home. And the prospects do it with a run rule, 15-0 in 3 innings. Well, the Rockstars, they put up a good one. They tried to do their best here this afternoon, I should say this evening under the lights, and they will continue on. So the Prospects, they go 2-0. Sportsmanship prevails. That's really what it's all about. An outstanding job from today's guys. They did a good work. And the POs, Kunsteller and Moeller, they're showing what they can do at the plate. These guys got some game, and everybody else making that contribution. Bedar scores on the double from our hitter. And that does it for Moeller and company. The Prospects, Coach Avila, his staff, Carlos and Coach Ortiz, of course, Sam and Trey doing a fine job for the club here tonight. And a great evening. The Prospects, they do it in fine fashion. For now, Chris Allard, the 2025 Perfect Game Super Regional NIT. This one's in the books. The Prospects go 2-0. And we will say here from Viva Las Vegas, have a great evening and thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.